Welcome to Deep Thought. Facing the reality of a situation can be tough. I'm going to tell you what, one of the issues that people have out here is having false beliefs about something. Believing a situation, seeing what they want to see. That's very tough to see the reality of a situation, because they are so caught up into what they want to believe. Like you can point out, and that's something I've seen throughout life. Like if you point out the reality of something, somebody can get pissed off. Like you give them irrefutable proof that whatever belief system that they have is not what they think it is. Oh, you could actually hurt someone. You know, and I remember one incident. It was with a young lady I was dealing with. This was back in the day. And she had said something. She had an idea that I felt a certain way towards her when we first met. And you know what? I had real love for this young lady. I had real love for her. But not in the way that she thought when we first met. And I'll never forget when I explained to her the reality of it. And it wasn't harsh or anything. I was just being honest with her. The reality of the situation when we first got together. And I remember she was against the wall and she like slid down the wall because she had a certain belief system. And, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I felt bad, you know, because like I said, I had real love for her. She was sweet, she was very pleasant, very pleasant. I really pray that she's doing well in life now, one of those situations. But I was just honest to her about it. It wasn't mean and I ain't have any negative thought, but I was like, when we first got together, no, this is how I was thinking. See, she had an idea what my intentions were. I was like, and it wasn't like to do anything mean to her, but I was like, it's just what it was, you know? Because honestly, when we first got together, what it was, because I know y'all curious, I was just more of a go with the flow type of thing at the time. Seriously, living in the moment. You know, I didn't have any long-term plans with her. Like I said, it was good, but I'll just say there was some outside complications. I'll leave it at that. She didn't have a man, but there's some other stuff. It's a story in itself now that I think about it. But anyway, but, you know, I remember her reaction. I thought about that. It was like, and I've said that before on here, you can actually kill somebody by shattering their belief system. That's how deep it is, because understand something, when we have a belief system, we move according to that. That affects how everything about us. Remember, everything starts in the mind. So if we have a certain belief system, we make choices about that. We make choices. Like say, you know, because we live in a world, people will have a negative belief system about other races of people, other religions, genders, and everything. But then when you actually point out, they actually see something that goes against that, that can actually hurt somebody. That messes with them. People can go crazy because it's shattering their belief system. Because, you know, yeah, we have our bodies and everything, but how we think, that's our software. If you interfere with that software in any way, introducing truth, it can shatter a lot. It can shatter how a person moves. It can shatter how a person eats, how they look at things, how they going through life with so many things, you know? So it's tough. Now, that's what somebody else could probably bring to them. In fact, I'll just say this, truth can be a nuclear weapon. Truth. I'm gonna tell you what, truth is more powerful than a nuclear weapon. Yeah, I know people say all that destruction, but you can shatter whole cultures with something. You can destroy whole cultures with a truth. It could just be the truth of how it came about. Like religions, if somebody had a time machine and went back in time and really were able to like videotape like the actual events that created religions, and you come back through the time machine and you say, no, this is what was happening, this is what went on, it would shatter whole systems. It really would. In fact, history, and that's another thing, a lot of times history is a lot of propaganda. It don't tell the whole story. It only tells the story of the winner. And in fact, that's a big thing now. You have different forces trying to not teach a history. That's a major thing. That's a major thing. Or say something different happened, you know? So that's one angle of it, but let's get back to the title of this. A person actually facing the reality is tough. I was thinking about it, just the reality, what's really going on. Like say a person is one of those people who is very positive and they try and see the good in everything. And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad out there, and in many situations, it's not what they think. It can shatter it. It can shatter it. It can shatter, like if somebody sees the reality, like in a relationship, if somebody sees the reality of their partner, that their partner really doesn't love them, it can be tough. It can shatter it. Or they believing the propaganda out here. They're believing in it. And then they find the truth. It can shatter them. Now it can. Now for some people, seeing the reality actually frees them up. But even going through that process, it might be a lot of pain because everything they were doing in their lives was based on that reality. How they were interacting with people, what they eat, clothes they wear, where they even live. Everything was based on a false belief. Indeed, I've talked before about counterfeit personas and how everybody has, or the overwhelming majority, they have a false belief on how the reality is out here because of maybe some trauma. Like you have some people, like a common one is feeling the need to control a mate because of a false belief that the only way they can find love is to control love. But if they, but it could be tough to face the reality is like, you don't need to control somebody for them to love you. It can be tough for somebody to let the false belief go. Or the belief that you have to be perfect. Like that's an interesting one because you have some perfectionists out here. You have some perfectionists, and if you look at them, they perfect on the surface, but it was a defense mechanism to get through some tough times. They had to shut their emotions down. They had to they had to keep that smile on their face. But that can be tough because then they're not really addressing like the negative moments, their inner child, so to speak. It can be tough. And that's something to think about. It's tough. It's tough. It has to be done, though. It has to be done. Because the thing about false beliefs, the thing about living in a lie, it's like a house of cards. It don't take much to knock it down, no matter how big that house is. Heck, it could be a block, but just one little breeze could knock it all down. That breeze is truth. So imagine somebody going through life and their life is built on false beliefs, a house of cards. They could actually, their whole existence destroyed just because of some truth introduced to it. It's powerful. It is powerful. It's something to really think about. So that's all I have for now. Really think about what I just said, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.